What's up, my brothers from another mother? We got a sponsored request today from a gentleman that has some questions about his marriage and potentially having kids with his wife or exiting it. Let's hop straight into it. He says, I need your help making the most significant decision of my life. I'm African born, raised in America. I'm married to an American woman. We share similar values. We're both religious and similar beliefs. My wife and I are in our late 20s, 26 and 28. I'm assuming you're 28. I'm a skinny guy and I can see my junk when I look down. Okay, so your self-care is there. Currently, I'm trying to go back to the boxing guy and also swimming because I enjoyed those things when I was single. I have alpha and beta qualities. My father's the alpha in the family and I like how he ran the family. A little background. Parents are still married. They're in their late 60s, early 70s. I am the oh crap baby. My wife's parents are separated. I don't exactly know why they're separated, but I assume her mother separated from her husband because he stopped being the breadwinner due to illness. That's not uncommon. And also the fact that he stopped practicing their faith. So to me, I felt that, see, that's interesting because faith usually requires there is no divorce, right? So her initiating divorce over him not practicing faith seems a little bizarre. But anyway, so to me, I felt that her mother chooses her beliefs over her husband, which I think is horrible. As a result, the husband is dead now, alone in his rented apartment, even though he had 9 children. I'm assuming he's not dead in his rented apartment. I'm guessing that's how he lived for the autumn years of his life. Now the man is dead. Her mom received the Social Security benefits, and she was able to buy a home, a car, because she was homeless, living with a friend while the father was alive. Personally, this scares me. Personally, this scares me that my wife might do the same thing. That is, chooses her faith over me and abandon me to die alone. I'm not a fan of my wife's mother. I think she didn't encourage her children to visit the father often enough, even though they did live in the same city. My wife was the only caring one. We tried to visit the man while he was alive, even though we lived only 2 hours away. My wife bought lots of things for him, tried to get him a nanny. Okay, so she's a caring one. Anyway, so you've got some concerns over the mother's behavior with the father. Obviously, that's reasonable because, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But let's keep going. So how he meets the wife. Meets her in college. We started out as casual friends. She was very religious, intelligent, and smart. She wore long skirts, no jewelry, didn't attend parties, etc. Didn't see anything wrong with her beliefs and way of life because he's raised Christian. So my sisters were raised the same way, but my parents weren't strict on my sister once they got older. Anyways, my wife considers herself saved. But in order to have fun in college, she made friends with the girls that aren't saved. These girls attended a lot of parties, smoked weeds, slept with multiple guys. In college, everyone had sex with everyone, including myself. I wasn't looking for a girlfriend. I had fun. I will have stories to tell my kids. After months of friendship, we ended up having sex. Keep in mind that I didn't want a girlfriend because I wanted to have fun in college. However, my wife shared she wanted us to be exclusive. I said no. So later we agreed to be friends with benefits because we cared about each other. They slept with other people. Wife slept with other people. They didn't talk about it, so we acted like it didn't happen to me. Deal was awesome. Loved it. We ensured that we used a condom to avoid any regrets. College was fun. So the college years are done. Let's hop into what happened after that. After college, we agreed to be exclusive, although my wife has resentment towards me because I didn't agree to us being exclusive when she initially asked in college, I assume. So just to make it up to her, I decided to take the next step, which is marriage. Well, that's where you went wrong to begin with, my friend. You don't getting married to somebody is a significant choice. I think you already know that because you've been watching my channel for a while, as you alluded to later on. But this is the first, well, definitely one of the first big mistakes you made. Wifing somebody up because you didn't agree to be exclusive when she wanted you to. You should, it's something that you should prioritize for yourself, for your own agenda. Again, she's to complement your life, not to focus it. And you made it the focus of your day and time at this time. But carrying on. Because she said that she wanted to be exclusive, wanted her to be the happiest wife. So you did this to like happy wife, happy life sort of thing, like, that crap that people pound in your head. So you get married. However, we aren't financially okay. He was depressed and can't find the job that he wanted. To be honest, I didn't think I was depressed. I just wanted more out of life. So nothing was fun for me. I was raised in a family with business owners. So working a crappy job is not something I want, and I believe that I would find something good. My wife hated that I was depressed, not fun to be around, so she cheated. And she was going to leave me at my worst in my life. Anyway, work through it with counseling. Just kind of pause for a moment, just kind of talk about that. A lot of guys subscribe to the notion of marriage because a lot of religious teachings talk about, well, I mean, it's even in the vows, right? Till sickness and health, till death do us part, and richer and poorer, and blah, blah, blah. It's supposed to be forever and ever until kingdom come. And then guys find out when they're not able to demonstrate competency, the ability to provide or provision. They become surprised when their wife goes outside of the mirror and starts banging Kevin from sales. It's not that uncommon. I've seen this happen a number of times. You cannot relax when you get married. You can't relax at any time in an LTR with a woman. You always have to demonstrate competency. You always have to be on your game. Women always reserve the right to change their mind at any given time, even if they're married, and as this example illustrates, even if they're highly religious. Before we carry on, channel sponsor, the Tactical Soap Company. If you guys have enjoyed the content I've been making on the channel, consider grabbing some. There's a card up on the top right of the screen. You can click that. Awesome stuff. It's pheromone infused. It's a natural product made in the US. And as I've pointed out, it's great if you have dry skin, especially in the wintertime. Some people even pointed out with psoriasis that it solved that. Let's carry on. So the gentleman finds a job that pays him $40 an hour. Fortunately, he finds a job that pays him $40 an hour. I was able to assist my wife in obtaining a job at my company. She got paid $35 an hour. Life was good. So after she was done banging Kevin in sales and you got a job at $40 an hour, life became good. So you have a beautiful loft apartment at this time. You bought decent cars. You had to deal with, all we had to deal with was the stress of having a job. So at this point, you don't have kids. And argued over little things in a relationship. I wasn't satisfied because I wanted to have my own company. So this guy wants to be an entrepreneur, but he's working for somebody else. So I periodically got depressed, not wanting to do fun things or vacation. Again, my wife hates this side of me. I hated that my wife doesn't understand my vision or where I want to take us in life. I saw my parents and siblings build their businesses, so I know that I could do it too. Women don't have a lot of patience. I've said this before, guys. Let's go big screen to highlight this. Women don't care about your struggle. They hang out at the finish line and they bang the winners. That's it. That's all. There's no disputing that. My wife has some upsides, which is why I got her in the first place. She's hardworking, caring, very selfless, very, very honest. Dude, she's not very honest if she's banging Kevin from sales, okay? Let's be honest here. Goes on to go out of her way to make me happy, not on social media, but the downside is jealousy, even when she doesn't have to be controlling. If she doesn't get her way, then that's a problem. If she doesn't get her way, that's a problem. Interesting. Sometimes she tries to be my mom instead of my wife. Also interesting. Sometimes I feel like she's never happy. Like it's always something that she complains that I'm not doing. You notice that she's complaining about what you're not doing versus what you're bringing to the table. That's very interesting. Like I'm not affectionate. We don't do fun things, etc. As of today, we're thinking about getting a divorce because after my wife's father died about a year ago, wife decided to get back into her faith. Okay. She's literally going into beast mode. Stopped doing a lot of things that she used to do, including things in the bedroom. So she's become a born-again Christian after she's been riding the carousel all her life and refusing to do things in the bedroom, even though you guys are married. She doesn't drink anymore, only wears skirts, doesn't party. All of these things, all of these are great if you ask me. I'm very open-minded. After watching your videos, I realized that I let my wife get away with a lot of things, okay? Anyway, ever since I met her, she understands that I have one non-negotiable. That is having unplanned children. However, about 3 months ago, she said that she doesn't believe in contraception anymore. I'm assuming because she's a born-again Christian or she's found her faith. She believes that jerking off or pulling out is a sin because I'm wasting something that could be life. Yeah, I've heard that. I am raised Christian, so I understand the view. This means that I would have to come inside her even though I know that she's not on birth control. My wife says that she doesn't want kids right now. Dude, when there's a conflict between what somebody says and what they're doing, believe the behavior. She's telling you she doesn't want to have kids, but look at what's going on here. There should be no confusion. You know, I hope that's clear. Most of you guys understand that should be clear. But anyway, so this means blah, blah, blah. Okay, my wife says that she doesn't want kids right now, but she wants to follow her beliefs. Be advised that my wife has been on birth control for almost 5 years until 3 months ago. If you research, there are women that practice natural birth control. It has something to do with the menstrual cycle. Yeah, it's just a rhythm method, right? You can download an app that will track the menstrual cycle, and it tells you when she's fertile and when she's not fertile. Not 100%, but it's certainly better than not being attentive to that. It also gives you a little bit of an advantage. I did an in-depth video on why guys should track the wives or girlfriend's menstrual cycle. It's in my men's community. It's a private video. The reason why it's there is because it's kind of in that level where I don't think it would do or pass the YouTube litmus test. So that's why I put it there. Anyway, I like to have things planned. I hate surprises. So having a surprise kid is not something I want. I do want a child with my wife, absolutely. But when we are ready to start trying, also this is her belief, not mine, and I refuse to do something stupid. Well, This is a guy that is clear on his non-negotiables. He's clear that he wants to have a kid with his wife, but he wants to do it on his terms, not when she imposes it on him. Um, where you're going right now, you're kind of in treacherous waters. So let's carry on. I don't believe in divorce. I spoke to my siblings and parents. They all advised me to stay with my wife and pray that she changes her mind. But if she doesn't, then I could do what I have to do. It has been 3 months. She isn't changing her mind. Recently, she has been ignoring me, even though we live in the same apartment. I agree to compromise, that is, using a condom. She said no because she doesn't like a condom and it gives her an infection. That sounds like a load of crap. I mean, she's been using them pretty much her whole life in the past before. I mean, you talked about it in college. So why all of a sudden does it give her an infection? And if it does, if it's an allergic reaction to latex, they have sheepskin ones, for example, that are not latex. So they're non-latex alternatives. So that's a load of BS, right? We have attended therapy. So you're going to therapy now by this point, dude? Okay. But we didn't finish because my wife made it clear she's not changing her mind. So there you go. I mean, I've said this before. Like marriage counseling and therapy doesn't seem to work in any kind of circumstance or environment that I've seen. I mean, she's not willing to do the work. She's holding firm on where she's at. She's not going to change her mind. That's where you're at right now. So he says, the only thing that upsets me is my wife refused to take responsibility for her decision. Like, are you surprised? Guys, women don't necessarily take responsibility as much as men do. And that's not a disparaging comment. It's just a reflection of an observation that I've made over a long period of time, doing these requests, talking to men, coaching guys, doing these coaching calls. You're going to find that is going to be par for the course, right? It's going to be your fault. You always have the burden of performance of a man. It is on your shoulders. Accept it. Okay? Women are born, men are made. Accept it. She believes that I'm the reason why we will be getting a divorce because all I have to do is agree to her decision. She refused to initiate and decide, okay, yeah, boy. And she doesn't even want to start the divorce proceedings. She wants you to do it. Got it. Okay. So I know you're not a big fan of marriage. I'm wrapping up right now. And most of your videos are dead on point with my experiences with my wife. Yep. I understand how family court works because I work in the court system, although I'm not a lawyer. And since we don't have kids, it sounds like perfect time for me to call it quits and potentially do surrogacy when I'm ready to have kids, because I don't plan on getting married if I do follow through with this divorce. I don't suggest surrogacy, guys. My understanding of the way that works is you find a surrogate, get egg donor, whatever, and the surrogate, carries the child to birth, and then it's yours, sort of thing. There's a number of complications, other problems that are involved in that, but raising a kid requires a man and a woman, a father and a mother, masculine energy, feminine energy. There's a lot of evidence that suggests that children raised from single-parent households do not do well in society. They're a detriment to themselves and they're a detriment to society. I've talked about it a number of times, so I'm not going to bang on that one too much. But I would discourage you from doing it that way. That's just my opinion. Some people like that idea. I don't support it. The upside of doing the surrogate, however, is I love my wife. I wish this is something that we could agree to. I'd like to hear your opinion. Okay, so that's my feedback on the surrogacy component. Your parents, on the other hand, are very open-minded on decisions, but they mentioned I could consider marrying an African woman, but I think it's dumb marrying or being with somebody from a second or third world country because when they get here, they will understand that the system will be in their favor. So after you help them get documents to stay in America, they can divorce you. You put an alimony and child support, which was my biggest fear. I don't remember if it was Eddie Murphy, Delirious, or Raw, but we all heard the little bit about Unfufu, the zebra chick. You can probably Google that on YouTube and find it. So my take on your scenario. Well, you've got a chick that you're married to that is basically controlling the frame of the relationship. She's not talking to you right now where you're living. She's obviously demonstrated to you that she's as hypergamous as the next woman. You become incompetent. You're not able to provide her provision. You go into depression because you're not filling your life's goals. She's going to go out and bang, Chad in sales or whatever. So it is what it is. Like you've got an obligation to that as a man. It's going to be the same with any other woman you're going to be with in the future. If I'm being honest, it's not like you're going to find some magical unicorn that's not going to be as hypergamous as your wife. Now, I know that you've mentioned in the video that you've had some issues with her not only just controlling the frame, but her not getting her way is obviously posing a problem. She's not willing to do the work on herself because you've tried counseling or therapy and she's not willing to acknowledge that there's work that she needs to do on herself or some things that she needs to take ownership for. So she's told you very, very clearly what you can expect going forward. and how things are going to be. The only way, my friend, that you're going to have any opportunity to run the frame of the relationship and optimizing things the way that you want them to go is by you fulfilling your dream of becoming a business owner and putting the dent in the universe that you're looking to do, which was very clear to me as I was reading it. I picked up on it a number of times. I get what you're saying. And that should be your purpose. That should be your mission. You guys are still in your mid to late 20s. You got lots of time. You do anyway. But I mean, like, you got lots of time to move into that scope, into that frame. Chances are it's probably not going to work out the first time you try it. 9 times out of 10 businesses are going to fail. And she doesn't seem like the kind that's going to want to stick around and support that mission. What she wants to support right now is no, contraception whatsoever, either on her end or your end. She's basically refusing to have sex with you unless you just do it au naturel, the way that it was intended to by faith. And that's going to compromise your bottom line, your main beliefs. So you're at a bit of an impasse. You've got 2 options, okay? Option number 1, hold firm on what it is that you're about and what your intentions are and what your bottom line is. Your bottom line is, if you're going to have sex, there's got to be contraception. I think that you should be in control of that. You should use condoms, dispose of them accordingly, and you should be on your purpose. And probably accept for yourself that she may do what she's done in the past, which is going to find somebody in sales or accounting or some other department and have some fun with them. If you're not able to demonstrate the competency that you're looking for, she might even run off with the guy. So what? You are on your purpose. You're chasing excellence. You're not feeding some narrative that doesn't serve you. Or you can end the marriage. Either way, if it ends, the cost to you is going to be relatively low. You haven't acquired much in the way of assets. You haven't built an empire of a business that's doing, multi-million dollars a year in revenue. You don't have assets that are significant. So you would have nothing to split, and you'd have no obligation to child support. You'd have no obligation to fighting to access your kids, which actually derails a lot of guys. So if you're in the startup phase of a business for the first 5 years or so, there's a lot of hours you're going to have to work. There's a lot of mistakes that you're going to make. There's going to be a lot of failures along the way. There's going to be a lot of disappointments, a lot of stress. And going through a divorce while you're going through that and trying to fight to have access to kids, which you probably are going to have some problem with based on how you're describing how her mother dealt with the father. Again, the father became incompetent. He wasn't able to provide or provision to, for the family. She bounced on him, citing religious reasons also. I mean, give me a break. Come on. Right? You've got a good picture of what you're looking at. So I think that you're going about things the right way. You're assessing it. You're definitely asking the right questions. Guys, this is a public video, so comment below. Let this guy know what you think. Am I wrong? Am I right? Give him some potential feedback if you went through a similar sort of experience yourself, and let him know how you coped with it and how you handled it. I want to thank you for supporting the creation of content on my channel by sponsoring this video. Real quick, if you want to do so, there is a link on the top right of the screen to request a video. You just go here. If you're stuck on something, your name, you make the PayPal donation, and you'll be able to send me an email, which will be able to basically let me read this off, and we'll record a video, give you some feedback. And the other thing is, there is the men's community. We've added a new tier, by the way. I haven't done a full release on it, but we've added a new tier on a business growth membership in between the basic and the premium. So basic is basically you get access to the men's community, which has all of these perks over here. You guys can click the link on the top right of the screen and check it out. If you're a business owner doing over $200,000 a year, I have a brand new tier which has been introduced. You can join that for $250 a month. There's an application process. You just can't sign up and get in. So you can take a look at that if that's of interest to you. You'll be able to grow your business and get access to network with like-minded men. There's also a forum component, which will allow for presentations and deeper in-depth conversations on a monthly basis for like a 3.5-hour meeting. So that's the business growth membership. And the top tier is one-on-one coaching. Again, you're going to have to apply for this as well, but there's an hour of monthly coaching at this tier. You can check that out if that's something for you want to consider. Oh, also merch on the page. You guys notice this now? Do the work. T-shirts are all there on Teespring. Thanks for checking out today's video. That's the link below. See you guys in the next one. Peace.